Welcome to the 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships. We are here with pre-quarter action in the mixed division between Seattle Mixtape and San Francisco Polar Bears. The 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web and vcultimate.com.
Got any hot tips?
We are here live, mixed division pre-quarters between Seattle Mixtape and San Francisco Polar Bears. Everything on the line in this game. Polar Bears finishing second in their pool with a loss to Dragon Thrust. Mixtape losing to Space Heater and then losing out in a three-way tie to finish third. I'm joined here, Becky Thompson, joined by Tony Leonardo. And Tony, tell me about this game.
Well, look, let's just come right out with it. This is the defending champion Mixtape from Seattle. This team did not expect to be here right now in a fight for life pre-quarter match, and they're playing the third team out of the Southwest here in Polar Bears, finishing third in the region. So on paper, this looks like a crazy mismatch and something that we would not have expected. But this is the state of mixed ultimate today, which is amazing and awesome. The parity is there. It's real, and it's should be a pretty good game.
Absolutely, we are set up for quite the match here. The last time these two teams faced off against each other was in 2015 in the semifinals. Mixtape took that one, and Polar Bear ready here to get it back.
Polar Bears got a lot of youth infusion. They really invested in younger players in their 20s, and then they have an older core. Anchi Chu, Greg Marliov, Dan Naro, and Lin Huang, one of the captains. And they won this tournament about 5-6 years ago. So this is a team that's been there and won it, and we'll see if they get back to the top again.
So Mixtape starting on defense in the white. Polar Bears on offense wearing dark, and we are underway here. Pre-quarter action, win or go home. Polar Bears are gonna get us underway on offense. Shu with the disc. Sitting it up high, but it's reeled in. Now into the middle with Huang. Using the unders here, working it up the field and circling it back now to Shu. Buxuan with the disc. Shu, the main central handler right now on this Polar Bear side. The inside flick shot. El Salam playing tight defense there, but it gets up nonetheless, and now Alexander. Good patience here from Polar Bears, looking for the next option, finds Buxuam. The end zone defense here from Mixtape, tight, not looking to give away too much on either side. A little bit of a clamp going on, but easily working it through the handlers right now as they're going to the end zone. It sits up for a second, but reeled in. Nicholas Alexander, we have the first point of the game.
Well, good patience there from Polar Bears. You saw everyone touch the disc. Jesse Bushbaum, the 6'10" Michigan product, coming back to handle and using his his left hand there for great effect. And really everyone kind of moving it around. So nice start for Polar Bears.
Phenomenal patience, really. Not a lot coming from the stack, but to be able to use your handlers like that with patience near the end zone can be so effective as well.
Well, I think that it looked like you were able to bring their stack into the handle position. So it started with Anchi Chu, one of the veterans, and Sue, the other handler, and then next thing you know, it's Alexander and Bushbaum on the handle. So, everyone's getting a piece, and that's the diversity you need to, get it down the field.
So early in this game, the first point of the pre-quarter goes to Polar Bears. A nice offensive hold with good patience, and we'll get a chance now to see the O and D lines respectively for these two teams. See the mainstay of this O-line, the 2017 Mixed Player of the Year, Mark Burden there, giving instructions to his O-line, setting the plan, looking for a response right away here.
I mean, this is a great team. This is an extraordinarily experienced veteran defending champion Mixtape team, and it's just crazy to see them again in pre-quarter. They're down 1-0 already, and we got to step it up.
So that pull comes up from Sweeney, and Burden will collect right away, centering to Bolton. A little bit of poaching on the handlers, and the first throw from Jesse Bolton is too far out of the hands of Hendrickson. Polar Bears a chance now for the first break of the game. Find Munson. Munson has the undercut coming in Maru. Maru surveying for the option, looks up line, and a hand block by Claire Revere. Maru lays out to get the second effort. Now centering it back and moving it upfield. Marley Ave with the disc. Puts the inside shot. Bolton close to a hand on that as Sweeney, the lefty, inside backhand to the end zone, and it's Christopher Cogswell with the goal.
Nothing like having your veteran who's been there and won this championship, Greg Marliov, on the D-line. Aging out at 34 years old, making plays out there. You love to see that. And this is the strength of mixed. And a break to start, and it just feels like Mixtape's already in trouble, and it's hard to believe that. But they're gonna find their groove, and this game is not going to be a runaway. But they got a lot of work to do to get back to the finals. That's for sure.
We're gonna look here, working it upfield. Those inside shots paying off so well here for Polar Bears. Inside backhand into space. Tough angle to make that not a huge window, not any room for error, but able to put it into space nonetheless, and it's so effective in this situation.
Not a lot of wind to start early in the day. The wind will pick up a little bit later perhaps, but nice, clean. You know, talking to a team that played them yesterday in Shame, they said, watch out for their inside breaks that Polar Bears have, and we just saw that right there with that low release.
So an early break here in this one. Polar Bears leading 2-0 over Mixtape. Mixtape already making a key mistake on their O-line right off the bat as well. Definitely going to want to clean that up here as they get set the same line. You know, on the field without Jesse Bolton taking a break on this one.
We saw, it almost seems like we saw, it's a little bit of a hangover from the Space Heater game. They basically turned it 5 straight times to end that game, and they're starting off right here in the same way.
So Burden looking for an option. Tight defense here, shutting down the unders. He's running low on options, finds a reset on the far sideline with Kircher. Moving it into the middle, and looks like there's going to be contact called here. Brian Stout trying to reel that one in. No contest on the mark from Sweeney.
Stout's a good pickup for this team.
Resetting back to Burden. Now over to Goldberg on the far side. Now throwing out their deep shot, looking all the way to the end zone. It's going to be tracked down by Stout, and that is a good answer here from Mixtape.
Yeah, way to find Stout, a big offensive receiver in that space there. So good trust there. You don't have to worry if you send that a little short or a little long. Stout's a good guy to get up and get that one, but that was a perfect throw.
Got another look here at the strip call. See Stout cutting into the middle, gets his hands on it, and then looks like after the contact it was bobbled out, but there was enough contact, I think, to cause the drop there on the play.
I guess so, yep. Stout was one of my draft picks in the Sky draft of 5 years ago. Little known fact. Played with him at Layout, and he's a competitor, heck of a competitor. So let's see what Mixtape can do on D here.
Mixtape had the very first point of the game on defense, and we saw Polar Bears so patient working the disc all the way up the field. So Mixtape got to find some way to maybe frustrate them a little bit, cause them to move the disc too quickly, and maybe some unforced errors.
Yeah, they didn't get too much pressure D on that first point, so let's see what they can do differently.
El Salam pull this one, get us back underway here. Center to the middle for Shu. Charles Shu has an open cut on the inside with Tolfa. He's going to put it deep, looking and coming, reading it well to come back under there, but unable to get that. Bouchon now has to play defense as Bailey is going to shoot it, looking for El Salam. Elevates, but can't get in front of the defender. Looks like there's going to be a discussion on this one.
Yeah, tough to see. It looked like they were both going for the disc and had their eye turned around, and I'm not sure. I would think this might be overturned by the observer.
We've got another look at it here. See El Salam trying to go over the top there of Tolfa.
Tolfa made a great read.
Looks like Tolfa did have body position on that one. Some contact on the arm there, but hard to tell if it really affected the outcome of the play.
Tolfa could have called a foul on Khalif, and this is the type of thing where you see the observer and, you know, to use these to good effect.
It does look like El Salam there trying to go over Tolfa a little bit.
So the observer did rule no foul. It'll be Polar Bear's disc.
So Tolfa getting good positioning on that D.
Really turned his body around to find that disc, and that's very key.
So Polar Bears a chance to go back the other way on offense through Alexander picking up. Going inside to Boutchouam. He's gonna pump it deep. Has the receiver going. That one trailing down to the ground, and it's too far away. Tolfa trying to go back the other 70 yards, can't get there.
Not a bad look, but the rhythm was off.
And now Mixtape looking for a break of their own. El Salam has Bailey up line. Bailey looking into the reset space. Now upfield here with Klein. The handlers here having a hard time finding any cuts upfield. The movement not coming quickly off the stack here as Cam Bailey has to go for another reset and now looks to go deep. Looking for Klein. Duffel in the deep space but can't get there.
Great defense, excellent timing, just got a fingertip on it, knocked it away. Really good timing that we're seeing from Polar Bears here. They're aware of those shots that are gonna go up. We know Mixtape's a big shot team, and so do they.
And Mixtape didn't have any under options coming for them out of that stack either. Forced to go looking for Duffel on the big play as well, and that is exactly what Polar Bears are trying to do. Take away that under, and they know they can compete for the deep one. Now back out here. Putting it deep. That one's gonna hang, going to the left and elevating over the defender. Boukchouam comes down with that one, immediately resetting the disc. Sturt puts it to the end zone and a layout grab for the goal. Jesse Boukchouam coming up huge here for the Polar Bears.
Way to use your height, way to throw to your big man. Jesse Bushbaum, who had crushed it in the Midwest for some time there, and it had to really extend on the layout. There's the fingertip D we see right there, and then watch Bushbaum go up.
We're gonna a born to rise moment here. First one gets all the way up, floats for a second, and then reset to Sturt to the end zone. Full extension to get to that one as well. What an incredible moment at the start of this game.
I love that he goes up for the sky with his left and the layout with his right. And you know, you need to do that. And he looked like he set up a basketball move almost when he was trying to get a position downfield as the defender was trying to box him out. Great play from Jesse Bushbaum. And the Polar Bears holding on offense in a very exciting fashion.
Polar Bears able to get the disc back more than once after giving it away, proving that their O-line defense is really effective as well.
You know, we saw this at the Pro Champs final when it was difficult for Mixtape to convert a lot of times when they got the D. And we're seeing that again.
So Mixtape need to find a hold, try and get that D-line back out on the field, see if they can find something different to get that conversion. That pull sailing down, gonna land near the far sideline, just inbounds as well as the first pass there to Burden is cut off right away. Now resetting and being pushed back into their end zone. Inside shot goes upfield.
That's what a great pull does. That was perfect.
Kircher resetting it back to Fong. Fong finds Kircher again, options low, but Burden coming from a cutting position and now putting it deep. A great put all the way into the hands of Hauser. Hauser right on the doorstep, looking for the next option, gets the reset and Fong. Back to Hauser, 1 yard away from the end zone here. And the cheeky little hammer over the top to Mark Burden. Interesting play decision on that one early in the stall count, but it works out here for Mixtape.
Sure, why not? You know, he's got the space in the back. That's an easy thing. He had a little double juke move there, and this is when you play together for a long time. These are the types of throws you have with each other. You just know that your teammate is looking at the same thing that you're looking at. And wow, he picked that disc up and threw it in the same motion.
A great shot there from Mark Burden. You see the little give goes right at the doorstep of the end zone to move the disc quickly away from Polar Bears, and then the little scooper over the top there to Mark Burden. And pretty easy looking end zone set for Mixtape there. Once they were able to work it out of their own zone, looked like they got a little bit more movement from some of their players.
Well, so if the deep shot is there for this team, right, that's their game, and it's going to be on. So if Burton hits that, they're going to score, right? That's what we saw, and we also saw that again in Pro Champs. If they were missing him like they were yesterday in the end of that second half in Space Heater, they're in trouble. You know, like they don't get discs back as often as you would like from a championship team, and you know, that's why they're in this pre-quarter game.
See their D-line back on the field. El Salam set to pull here. He's been a dominant defensive force for Mixtape throughout the course of the season. We'll need to try and find something in this one. As Shu, one of the main handlers here, has it in the middle and puts it up line. Dawkin resetting now to Alexander.
Polar Bears offense looks very comfortable.
Always finding a new option, and now looking for Tolfa in the end zone, and the huge layout. Incredible play there from Mixtape, the defensive magic that they needed on that point.
Yeah, that was a rise up moment right there. That was, I believe that's Hendrickson there making the D.
So Mixtape a chance to go the full 70 yards.
It needed that play.
Now Hendrickson moving it up to El Salam. El Salam fakes the huck, and a pick called in the middle of the stack.
This can fire a team up, right? This is Mixtape's time.
So disc coming back in on stall 3. Vertical stack set up here from Mixtape. El Salam again faking off the huck shot. Has the under now with Garrity. Resets coming as all they have with Akita, now putting it back to Salam, and now over to the near sideline. Upfield with Lexi Garrity, able to get those undercuts, has to go to Salam for the reset, puts it just in front of him, he hangs on. Now onto the far sideline, Mixtape looking for a break and straight into the defender, trying to toe the line. Looks like manages to get the disc inbounds. Incredible play. Mixtape coming down with that one, Emily Smith, and they have got the break back.
Wow. Tough sledding for Mixtape, but they get it done. Nothing was easy on that point. All the throws were contested, and especially that last one. And you know, people will tell you, oh, you got to catch your Ds. I don't really buy into that all the time. You try to catch it sometimes, it tips right off your hands as well. So the defender gets up there, knocks it away, and it just comes back into play enough for Smith to get that disc on the line.
So a born to rise moment there. The D, so well done. One toe inbounds, manages to keep it just in front of the line. Incredible play from Smith. And now we're seeing a little bit more energy created here from the defensive line of Mixtape.
Yeah, Margot stirred there with the D for Polar Bears, just not enough. And that little bit there can go a long way for a team, you know? Just that can get Mixtape back on track.
So 3-3 back on serve in this game.
Becky, when do we talk about the numbers? We before this broadcast, when we talked to Polar Bears, they have a number of injuries, and I just wonder if that's going to come into effect as the game goes on, and their bench doesn't have the depth that this Mixtape team does.
Yeah, Polar Bears have, I said, about 5 or 6 people with injuries right now, 3 who can't play at all, the other 3 who are probably less than 100% in this situation, and that definitely could come into effect. They do have a decent sized roster, so we'll look to ride through their depth a little bit more in this one, but everything on the line, we'll likely see a lot of the same names as we are seeing Alexander putting another huge huck to the end zone under pressure. Trying to find it, but gets there, the defensive play.
Love this matchup, right? Hendrickson, I think it's Hendrickson versus Bushbaum. So here we're going to see what the call is here. Both players going up. You know, it just looks like there's a simple body contact here. This is like basketball again. They're both going for position. I don't know if he got his arm locked in there or not, but you're looking at it here, and I don't see a call. I don't know how this can be a call. We'll see what the observers rule, but I would say it's a no call, and great D from Hendrickson. And we're looking at the observer now. It's coming to him, no call. So this disc will be mixtape, and they're going to get another chance here at a break opportunity.
So Hendrickson coming up big, 2 points in a row now for this mixtape team.
That's what they need.
Cam Bailey looking for the next option, has Hendrickson back. Putting it up now to Lozano on the near sideline. Bailey in the reset space, doing well to get open, and now moving it upfield. The 1 and 2 with Garrity. Now he's gonna put it deep, looking all the way to the end zone, but unfortunately that one just trailing off and into the ground.
I was gonna say, you can see the energy from mixtape on that point, and it was just a little too much adrenaline on that throw.
So, Polar Bears, another chance out on offense.
That D by Hendrickson, though, that changes the equation a little bit. You know, like now it's in Polar Bears' heads. Do we put it up to our big guy or not?
A great matchup between Hendrickson and Buchbaum there, and now we see Shu going the around backhand and puts it into the poach. Hendrickson, not sure he knew Garrity was right there to get the D, lays out for it anyways. Now back into play here with Wynn. Finds Bailey. Bailey has Hendrickson going up line, fakes it off. Goes inside to Wynn. Now the inside shot to Salam. El Salam puts the around backhand into Ari Lozano's hands, and that is another break here for Seattle.
Yeah, there they go. They're finding the rhythm there. They're playing some lockdown defense, and they're getting rewarded for it. And really, the struggles are on the Polar Bear side a little bit as they're not able to find that smooth rhythm that they did in the beginning of the game.
Get a look at this put here from Cam Bailey.
It's jacked
Blades
up
into the ground. And then the around backhand into space. 2 defenders for mixtape. And Hendrickson coming in with the big layout D on that one. And then just tic-tac-toe up the field the rest of the way into the end zone for mixtape.
So Polar Bears coming out here with a new line. That offensive set that we've seen pretty much all game is taking a seat for now because they do need a rest. And we see some of the veteran out there, Greg Marlioff. I think we got Clint Huang out there. We got some new faces from this squad, Andu Oyang and Catherine Chen among them.
So now we see some new O-line members out there as well. They're looking to do something different. Some turnovers, 2 in a row there, and some great defense we're seeing from mixtape as well.
Yeah, and if they don't score here, it's going to be a timeout, or at least it should be.
Mixtape taking their first lead of the game, can extend it to 2. Would be a 3-break run if they can. See some new defensive players out on the line here as well for mixtape as they put up the pull. Will be collected with Madden. Finds Sweeney in the middle and now moving it over to the sideline. Riley Ave. Sweeney swung all the way around, looking for some space. You got a poachy junk zone here, and it's going to be put up, looking for the receiver in the end zone, but a mismatch there, and the height comes down with it. Now Lozano fakes the huck the other way. And into the poach defense in the middle. Sweeney running through for that one, read it all the way. Now a chance to go 1-2 in the end zone, and he gets it. The double happiness for Sweeney and Polar Bears putting on the pressure after a turnover.
Just whatever you can do, I can do better, right? One of those. So a great read from the mixtape defender to get in that spot, and then Sweeney comes right back with it and gets into the lane on what should have been an easy swing pass, and it was read perfectly. And he gets rewarded with the goal right here from Greg Marliaff.
Going 1 and 2 in the end zone, and a great transition, so much speed after he got that D as well. He had Marliaff right with him to move it up and into the end zone, and Polar Bears showing that they're not gonna go away here. They're not gonna allow a 3-break run from Mixtape, and now out again, their D-line to look for a break of their own.
Well, Sweeney as one of their defenders there, that's on the O-line, that's what you get rewarded for that choice. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about this as we go along, Becky, but I love seeing the classic, what is mixed ultimate and what was come to be known as mixed ultimate from these two cities. Seattle and San Francisco have produced historically the cream of the crop in mixed. And this is the supposedly third best team out of San Francisco here. Blackbird, Mischief, they finished third in the region. Those are two other San Francisco teams. All those teams are alive. Seattle and BFG are both here. This is where mixed ultimate lives in these cities and where it's excelled at. And it's just great to see this matchup.
So Jesse Bolton back out on offense for the first time in a couple points here. Moves it up to Kircher, who moves it upfield, and the outstretched arm can't get there. Hauser giving the disc back now. Polar Bears a chance at a break. Madden finds the reset. Munson putting it to the far sideline, has to slide to keep that in possession, but Thompson now looking for the next option, has it up line. Bolton putting on the pressure but can't get there on home. Now swung back around to the middle. See, Polar Bears trying to find that upfield option, but the handler's still open on those resets. Madden puts it upfield now. Now moving it back over to Hom. Upfield pressure still not close enough as Sue now looking upfield, has the undercut coming.
Great gritty motion here from Polar Bears.
Inside flick shot, those flick inside breaks, so dangerous. We've talked about it before from Polar Bears. So they look now for a reset and then into the end zone under pressure, but a call made on the play.
Looks probably a contested stall. She just missed her a cutter on that very inside break, and I think if she stayed with the look for another half second, she might have had a chance there.
It looks like
not a contested stall, maybe a body call.
Stout there calling maybe a push-off on the cut.
Clear out, push out type.
Joe Thompson saying that maybe that it was just physical contact between both of them, and he still managed to get to the disc. We'll see the discussion here.
Looks like they will go to the observer, and she will send it back.
So Kate Schlag with the disc here, and was a pretty rising stall count, so will be coming in likely fairly high here. Looks like
8 or 9
being singled.
Yeah, that's it's going to be scary. It's going to be a tight one.
So stall 8, Schlag will look for an option right away here.
And I don't see where that option is. I think it's got to be a dump. It's got to be a dump pass to Munson is all I see.
Back underway and gets the reset to Munson. Still at the end zone. And now the inside shot and the bid. Thompson reeling that one in to save possession here for Polar Bears. Now stuck on the end zone line. Finds the reset to Hom. Puts it around now to Sue. And then that one, a miscommunication. That disc shot just behind where the cut was coming there from Huang. Mixtape, a gift back in their possession.
So tough. They played so great, Polar Bears, and just, it was great defense from Mixtape. Nothing was easy.
So Noah resets that one to Bolton and almost picked off in the lanes. And now going all the way the other way, gets low to get to that one. Stout reeling it in 10 yards from the end zone, has the reset in the middle with Goldberg. Now Kircher finds Bolton resetting the disc. Kurtrin Bolton going 1 and 2. Some traffic there, but Bolton coming in with it. Fakes off Stout up line. Had Goldberg open up line, and it looks like there was a call on the mark.
Whew, need to take a breath here. Some fast action from Mixtape after the Polar Bears turn.
So an uncontested foul here will return to stall 1. Bolton goes inside backhand, reeled in on the end zone line. Abramovich, and then a hand block and a foul called. It looked like
yeah, I'm not sure she's contesting.
Great effort on the layout hand block, but an uncontested foul, like you said, Tony.
Some gritty defense from both teams.
So Abramovich will get the disc back on the end zone line. Resets to Hauser. Hauser, the scoober to Bolton under pressure and comes down with it. Polar Bears trying to get that help defense in, but it's not enough in this one. Jesse Bolton with the goal.
Nothing easy for either team here. This is some high-level ultimate we're seeing here. Every player is well guarded. Every mark, every throw. This is great. This is what you want to see. And you got to put a scoober up to your guy in the end zone there.
It's the second little scoober shot we've seen into the end zone from this Mixtape team. They've got an arsenal of throws, that's for sure. Not afraid to use them, even in the red zone.
Yeah, they have an indoor Goaltimate league in Seattle that they play a lot of. When a lot of players play goalty up there, and it's good times, and it gives you different looks and different releases and angles and speed on your short shots. Some other teams here have some experience with the Goaltimate action that they've brought to effort. Chain Lightning has a lot of quick, cheeky throws that have come out of playing that style of offense. Now we're seeing the starting O-line for Polar Bears coming back onto the field. Even though that last line they put out did pretty well.
Interesting switches, maybe relying on some of that depth to see how they can create the chemistry up the field, and clearly showing that those other lines and the other players on this team have those abilities as well. Could be something that pays off for them if this game continues as it is, so tight. Lots of points to be played right now as Shu looks for the next option. Looks for the reset. Tight defense there, but Alexander reels it in. Fakes the huck. Buchsbaum puts it back to Alexander. Lots of space upfield here, but some poaches on the handlers in the lanes there. Hendrickson trying to take away the upfield option as Buchsbaum puts it back to Shu. Being pushed back here, Polar Bears not finding any upfield options.
Hendrickson doing a great job getting in the lane.
Alexander now faking the huck. Now getting an upfield cut in Tolfa. Tolfa finds the next under. Sometimes that's all it takes to get the one to initiate the play here. Naruo flips it up to Alexander under pressure.
Naruo, one of the veterans on this team. Oh.
And a mistake here. Alexander trying to thread the needle through to Shu and just put it straight into the ground.
Yeah, a little tight there. There's some traffic in the middle. Mixtape with a chance to break.
Garrity gets it in the middle of the field. Puts it over to the sideline now. Klein, upline to win. Trying to work it in for another break. Casey Akita around now to Klein. Has El Salam, and they're going to go for another hammer, and El Salam elevates in the end zone for the break. Seattle Mixtape take their lead to 2 points at 6-4.
That is textbook Khalif Salam. That's what the way he gets up and rises early and can snag that disc, especially on those hammer catches. I just feel like that's like the multi-photo shot of Khalif that we all know. And he just hangs up in there and snags it out of the air. Beautiful.
Nice little celebration after as well. Little dance on that one, and Mixtape still loving the hammers and scoobers right at the end zone. Khalif El Salam there did a good job to do one quick shoulder fake and then cut hard to that space. Could have been a break backhand, could have been the inside flick, but the hammer this time going up to El Salam.
He still drew 2 defenders, and if he didn't go up when he went up, that was a turn. That was great defense from Polar Bears, and just El Salam elevated and was a better player in that space.
So now Mixtape extending their lead to 2. Polar Bears had the 2-0 lead right at the start of this game. So tying that amount in their lead here and looking like they found their rhythm in the second part of this first half as well.
Yep. And you know, they're making it difficult for Polar Bears. And that's kind of what they needed to do in this game, is just make Polar Bears earn this game. I mean, Seattle is a better team. This is the defending champions. If Polar Bears are going to win this game at all, Seattle's got to make them earn it, and that's a tough ask. Don't give it away is basically what I'm trying to say.
So Marley Ave centering it to the middle here for Polar Bears. Thompson. Naruo with the diss. Wearing the same hat as Thompson. Now going up line, finding options under the pressure from Lozano there, but reels it in. Sam Applegate getting involved here and puts a big yard gainer upfield here to Dawkin. And another one. Sue to the end zone looking for Alexander, and Polar Bears work it all the way up the far sideline. Big yard gainers and into the end zone for the hold.
Yeah, that's a great comeback from Polar Bears. You know, you need just the movement and the alacrity and the focus of that point was excellent, and they ran an umbrella down the sideline. Again, that's Anchi Chu, right? Yeah, this is a veteran point. This was 3 Polar Bears champions that we just saw out there with Marley Ave Naruo and Anchi Chu, showing how it's done.
So Polar Bears answer back right away. 6-5, this one staying close. No surprises. The mixed division at this 2018 National USA Ultimate Championship has been so close throughout the course of pool play yesterday, and now we're here in pre-quarters. Everything on the line. A spot against Blackbird in the quarterfinals as well.
I keep forgetting what year it was. 2010. So we're looking at the three champions from mixed 2010 in Chu, Marley Ave, and Naruo out there in 2018 making plays.
So Mixtape back on offense. Blackbird looking to bring this one back. Tie it up again here. As they get their D-line out. Sweeney pull. Big around backhand here. Sit back into the end of the end zone here. Mixtape centering to Burden. Burden has to dish it further back in the end zone here. Dare puts it up, and Kircher, an uncharacteristic drop right in the middle of the field, 5 yards from the end zone. Polar Bears, chance, a gift really to break on the doorstep. As Sweeney picks up, goes around, flick, easily reeled in on the far sideline. And that is the goal here. Cogswell, his second of the game, and they get a break back.
Wow, big play there. One miscue, one mistake, and Sweeney makes him pay.
See, this one just turned to the side as Kircher went to pancake that disc, and it's bobbled out of her hands. And then Cogswell, see that, they made that eye contact right at the top of the stack there between Cogswell and Sweeney, and knew exactly what both of them wanted to do.
Just put it out to space, get it around the long arms of your defender, and, you know, release points are a lot of the action. You know, I think with that Kircher play, you've felt this sometimes too, right? You're like, you got an in-betweener, right? You're like, do I catch this two-hand up above, or do I go one hand, or do I pancake it? And it's that right in-between spot. It's not too low, it's not too high. You're sort of cutting away from your body, and it's an awful feeling when that happens. Sometimes you get some crazy catch, like you do some like gaggle and you get it, and you're like, well, that was fortunate, but unfortunate here.
And something we haven't seen Paige Kircher do a lot of is make mistakes like that. A very consistent player. She's back out on the field Now, as the O-line from Mixtape will get a chance to bring this disc all the way up to the brick mark.
And you got another great game going on here, Becky. Yesterday we had this machine Ring of Fire game on this field, and it was all the way to the end. And just a great action, and I got the sense we get another one here. Just seen both teams playing pretty solid. You know, you get a simple mistake, but you make them pay. Hard defense, great offenses.
So Burden in play again here for Mixtape. Finds Stout. Stout has Revere going and pump fakes it. Has the massive under now. Revere on the doorstep. Fakes the up line. Has Kircher in the middle now looking for Burden. Gets Kircher back again. Kircher, Burden tracks it into the end zone. The rolling catch. And it's signaled by the observers. Burden, not sure he needed to do that, but making sure that it was in the end zone for the point. See Kircher, the first fake, gets Burden on the second cut. Open in yards of space on the open side. See him shoulder check to see where the end zone is and jumps to make sure he's in bounds.
I love his dance. He's got a little jig, does Mark Burton. Like his feet move so quick, and he's got great body control, and he just looks like he's dancing a little bit out there. Like when he set up the juke cut to score at one of those early goals, you just saw him, high stepping.
So Mixtape and Polar Bears trading now. Mixtape still up a break in this one. They could break again to take half here, go in with a nice 2-point lead.
Yeah, and then receive to start the second.
Get that natural break out of half, and Polar Bears so far have shown that they have been able to respond to every point put up so far, work themselves back into the game.
We're not seeing Bushbaum out there for this O point. He's sort of been one of their starters on O. Curious about that. I saw him wearing a big floppy hat earlier on the sidelines. I hope I don't even see him.
So Polar Bears out on offense, looking for an answer. Alexander and Chu, mainstay handlers of this Polar Bears team. Had Sturt coming under instead. Alexander wrapping all the way around to get it up line. Now the under to Tolfa. Polar Bears working these unders, and Lozano gets a fingertip to that disc on the run through D. Akita finds Win in the middle.
That's what Lozano can do to you. She's one of the excellent defenders in this division.
Akita calling a timeout back in the middle of the field, and I think that is a great call in this situation.
Run through with Lozano. This is Angie Cho, one of the veterans here, giving up a few years, like 10, to her defender Lozano, and Lozano getting her on the under. And that's the risk sometimes you take. And here's a great timeout from Mixtape, trying to ensure that they get that break and can start the second half with the opportunity to do it again, to score.
And Lozano, saw on the replay there, gets that run through D and then books it towards the end zone with a quick shoulder check to see if anyone had picked it up. As soon as she sees no one picking it up, clearing into the stack as well, and just a great heads-up play to get that D and be so aware of what is going on behind you at the same time.
Yeah, it's one thing to just bolt to the end zone, but you're right, to actually check in and then right away get into the reset spot or get out of the way for the next cutter. And that's fundamentals that sometimes in adrenaline moments you forget, and it's great to know that that's what builds a championship team, is always be aware out there. So let's see what they draw up on offense for Mixtape here, as their D-line, again, will have the disc.
So Casey Akita has got the vertical stack in front of him. Lozano at the back. Garrity as well.
Garrity's a big receiver. I like your game.
And then Smith out here too. See Hendricks cutting off the front. Finds El Salam under.
He's got the arm.
El Salam has Smith coming under here. Upfield looking for Garrity, and it bounces off of her fingertips. Just shot again, a little bit behind her on the reset there, trying to put it too far to the inside.
Tough one on the line. And a hold opportunity here for Polar Bears as they get the disc back.
So now Alexander putting it into the middle. Naruo.
I was going to say I like their spacing and the hoe stack, but you see like Hendrickson and Salam there can mess it up.
And Shu unleashing a huck. 2 defenders in the space, but Tolfa does well, finds the body position, gets himself all the way to that disc.
What a throw. That was money. Right in the power position, and just right away, Shu just bombs it. Beautiful put. And great D from Lozano getting in there, but Tolfa just a tad faster to her to the spot.
And a great put there from Shu. What a great moment. Saw the way that the Mixtape defenders were poaching off the handlers, trying to force something different, and they managed to take advantage. Naruo putting that around shot into space in front of Shu gives her the power position to make that huck as well.
And just this team is dialed in. You know you're dialed in when you take that shot in perfect rhythm and you hit your person on just a full speed, run. It's like when you leave it short, when you get it too far, you're out of rhythm. When you hit your target right in the hands, you're dialed in. Bushbaum coming on D here. That's interesting. Sweeney, who's been great for them on D.
Gonna see, I think, what looks like a bit of a power D line maybe here for this Polar Bears team, trying to break to take half. They know that Mixtape will get a chance to start on offense out of half as well, so getting themselves up a point here would be a big advantage going in on defense at the start of the second half as well. Mixtape, on the other hand, looking for a hold. 7-7. Next point will be halftime as that pull sails all the way out of bounds.
Well, bit of a mistake there. You don't want to give this guy with the disc, Mark Burton, a brick shot, because he can kill you anyway, he can put it deep to you. And in fact, they're not even getting up. Oh, it went way out. Wow, that's a very bad pull. It's half field.
So Mark Burton, a leader on this team, has Batman on the back of his jersey, and now he centers it to Hauser. Upfield to Goldberg. Hauser trying to put it to Goldberg, but put it too late, and the poach defense there, trailing defense almost was ready. Marliev gets a hand to that one.
Marliev, a Beach Ultimate veteran, has won a number of titles with Team USA. This is an experienced player out there.
Now around to this near sideline. Yang puts it back to Sweeney. Inside, now we're seeing Buchsbaum on the disc, and he's gonna unleash backhand huck, has the receiver going. Molly Munson in the space, and 2 defensive efforts there. Goldberg making sure that one gets D'd.
Heck of a play, heck of a throw, heck of an attempt from the Polar Bears offensive player Munson out there, but Goldberg in the end gets it twice.
Well done there. Goldberg coming in big here for Mixtape.
That was a beautiful thing to watch.
There's now a violation called. It looked like Burden here.
Looks like Goldberg's going to take a sub. I think she's got either a contact or something. She will walk off the field.
So hopefully Goldberg is okay. She's been a pretty important force for this Mixtape team through the course of this game. Burden now on the far sideline, looking for a reset, has Bolton inside under some pressure, but Bolton reels in, fakes the huck. Now under to Stout. Marliev thought he had a play on that. See some frustration as now Stout looking for Abramovich in the end zone, and it's reeled down. Mixtape 8-7, find the hold.
Oh, Nothing's easy, so you got to make plays, and that's a couple of playmaking going on right there. Marliov is eyeing out there. He's looking for the spots. He got the D, but Stout makes a pay. Abramovich gets up high. Goldberg really should be credited for that point with that monster D tracking it down all the way in the end zone.
So 8-7 Mixtape take half here. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with a halftime interview from Mixtape as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple seconds.
It's a push bomb, right? Yes. Okay. You slow down. I know that. I'm saying you slow down on both. Yeah. Maybe great. It's fucking great game. I don't know. Really good. It's just been big plays, big concentration. I mean, Mixtape Blues, right? But Florida's right there with them. From what I heard it, you said that's basically right? I'm not even know what they're saying. So it's been all someone, huh? They haven't looked great here. Huh. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I remember her from Junior World. Oh yeah. Oh, you were doing the open game? Yeah. Which is what? Yeah, what's the score? Oh, wow. That's why you got Daryl up there talking, I see. I know what's going on. Get injured though. If you want to hang it down, we don't have to do a shot with them. Yeah, if you just want to stay down here, you can go here. Yeah. That way you can get back down. That's fine with me. We will not shoot you then. You will not hear it. You're not on camera. Actually, we might want to show you.
Welcome back. Here, the 2018 USA National Ultimate Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web and VCUltimate.com. Halftime here, Seattle Mixtape leading 8-7 over Polar Bears. I'm joined by Mark Burden. And Mark, tell me a little bit about how that first half went and what you think you might need to change or reevaluate for the second half.
Yeah, just want to start saying off, like, this is Friday. It's Friday Nationals. It's all teams that are playing these pre-quarter games and waiting, the teams that are in quarters are waiting for us. And so it's one of those things that, the first half jitters and laying everything out on the line, and we're seeing it from both teams. For us, we know that Polar Bears, they were hucking it early, and so it's us making plays in the air, but also getting some pressure on the marks. And offensively, I think we're getting good flow. We're getting our matchups that we want. We're exploiting it, and we're not afraid to leave the handler set and cut deep, and it opens up other players.
So Polar Bears have been able to work some big unders up the field as well through the course of that first half. Any ideas on shutting that down?
Yeah, it's one of those things. They hucked early, and then they started realizing they were jumping off and helping, and they're hitting these big unders from side stack, and especially from one side of the field to the other. And so we got to stop that. We got to be ready to get down low and anticipate that that's what they want to do and make them do a little dancing. So that's, I think, something we really need to work on. And again, our marks. I think we win with our marks, make it really hard, make them pivot a couple extra times or shimmy a couple extra times to make that throw not viable anymore and get that D.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Take 30 seconds, and then we're going to get you back on the mic so you can show the replay package from the first half. And we'll go. The second team.
I think it's Bush Farm. Do you want to talk about?
Welcome back to the 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships here. Second half action about to get underway. Seattle Mixtape leading 8-7 over San Francisco Polar Bears, and it's been a half of runs as well. We saw that early 2-0 run from Polar Bears, and then Mixtape climbed their way back in. We'll get a look at some of the highlights of the first half. This one, Thompson getting in on that cut. The big huck here from Shu all the way to the end zone. Tolfa finding some space through two defenders and reels that one in. We've seen lots of big plays. Hendrickson has been huge here for the Mixtape team, coming down with multiple Ds. See another one of his here. Had the help there from Garrity if needed as well, but comes down with that one. Hendrickson again with the layout D, just fingertips to that one. Polar Bears have been big on their huck game, and Mixtape right now answering back on defense. It's going to be an interesting second half, see what adjustments get made. Only 1 point down. Polar Bears have to start on defense. And Tony, what is something they can do to shut down the offense here for Mixtape?
Well, they've kind of been doing a pretty good job. I mean, they've been getting the disc, and it's just been a tight game. I mean, stay in your comfort zone, you know. I don't think you need to do too much. You're getting the turns. stay with it. Stay with it. Punch one in. We were looking at Greg Marley. He got a D in the very last point we saw, and Goldberg just got it back with a great play. So there's just a lot of great plays are happening. Stick with your game. Get out there and see what you got.
So Mixtape, chance to start on offense right out of half. Managed to get a hold to take it to half, and now that nice natural break if they can get a hold here.
Mark Burton seemed pretty comfortable. Seems like they feel like they're in a good spot, although, talking to folks, and this Mixtape just hasn't been themselves all tournament so far. So it's been a grind for them, and we'll see if that continues here in the second half for the defending champions.
You can see him out there directing his team. Such a leader, a force here for Mixtape. And we're set to go second half action. One team after this will be headed to the quarterfinals. Everything on the line as Marley Ave gets us back underway. It's going to be centered right away to Burton.
Wow, big space on the isolation here, but they don't go to it.
Has Revere coming under and puts it instead to Hauser on the far sideline. Hauser fakes Abramovich off. Looks back into the middle now. Noah puts it around to Stout. Stout fakes the backhand huck, thought that one was coming up, and now finds Burden under. He's gonna unleash. That one sailing directly into the hands, making it look easy as Casey Fong comes down with that. Kei Fong just yards of space on that cut.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Polar Bears with Andrew Ouyang there, because he was Stout faked that one, and Fong had the spot, and then it went back to Burton, and he was still open. so great job there from Fong to really double up on that deep cut and get rewarded.
Kei Fong there doing a great job, like you said, getting rewarded on that play. Mark Burden unleashing a backhand, and he does that so well. I mean, consistently as well in every game.
Yeah, and no one here doesn't know that. So Polar Bears do have to play maybe a little smarter if Burton's going to start doing damage like that against them, and find a way to do it. Dragon Thrust was able to slow him down at Pro Champs, and Polar Bears is going to should look to some tips from them, and where the mark is, or what you're going to do to either prevent him from getting the disc or where he's going to release it from.
Yeah, I think a tough task for any team to try to shut him down.
That's a great, one of the best players out here, so yeah, no easy.
It has been done before, so Polar Bears, of course, look for an answer. Mixtape have shown before a deep game that they have. Deep team as well. As now Alexander has it back in possession and finds Tolfa under. Tolfa surveying for the option. Alexander being shut down by El Salam, and then finds a way to get it back to the sideline. El Salam and Alexander battling for that one. Now into the middle, popped up Naruo. Putting it to the end zone, looking for Buchsbaum, and he elevates to come down with that one, head and shoulders above Hendrickson this time. What a grab to start the second half.
Saw that building the whole time there as Buchsbaum was getting out towards that open space there. Hendrickson hoped he can get another one. Great matchup so far between these two players we're seeing, and Naruo smartly puts it up with just enough air under it to give his big man the best chance for it.
No surprises here as he just elevates before Hendrickson can even make a play on the disc. And Polar Bears constantly answering to anything Mixtape seems to throw at them right now.
It's just a really good game. This is a Polar Bears team that's in good form, good rhythm. Their youth and their experience are kind of combining very well right now. They've had a good run through this tournament, even with that close loss to one of the elite teams here in Dragon Thrust, and then a tight win over Fort Collins Shame, another excellent team here. So they're in great position for coming back to the championships for the first time in 2 years. They haven't been here in 2 years, this Polar Bears team.
Definitely setting themselves up for that right now in this game. Down a point, 9-8. looking to find a break here and tie this one back up.
Towards the end of that Mixtape Space Heater game, this is sort of the area where the wheels came off for Mixtape on offense. They'd have one turn and they'd get burned by it. So let's see how if they can hold the fort here.
Bolton finds Burton. Now putting it all the way. Goldberg tracking it down, and this time the throw isn't perfect and it sails out of bounds.
Opportunity here for Polar Bears for sure. Let's see if they've got the firepower that can do what Space Heater did to this Mixtape team. Sweeney's been all around the disc today.
Sweeney putting a huck right back of his own. Two defenders in the space, tracking it down, and manages to get there first. Hauser getting just in front there. Good effort here from Sarah Nolan.
I mean, that was a great play from Hauser, but a great run from Nolan, a great put from Sweeney. Just excellence all the way around, and it just goes Mixtape's way.
So Burton now puts it around to Goldberg, getting it open on the underside, inside to Bolton. He's gonna put it deep. Has one receiver in Stout, going Stout, tracking it all the way to the end zone. The layout bobbles it, but on the second attempt, somehow keeps that in his possession, and Mixtape get the goal.
That was a peck catch. That was an amazing tip to himself, unintentionally, of course, but Stout to the ground. What an uplift for Seattle Mixtape. Bolton's throws, which have been getting away from him, tailed away towards the sideline. The layout from Stout, and he's able to keep possession. Really an amazing break here hold for Mixtape.
Such focus to be able to keep his hands and his eyes on that disc after it was bobbled. No chance for it to hit the ground. And those are the kinds of plays that any team is going to need trying to make it into the championship rounds here. And
that's what caught it right there. His shoulder brace was an assist to the shoulder brace as it bounced off his chest. Great concentration there from Brian Stout. What a big play. Huge uplift for this team.
Something that can always help inject more energy into a team when your teammates come up with big plays. It motivates everybody on the field to work that much harder for the disc as well. And again, we've seen Polar Bears answer right now each time.
And let's talk about Brad Hauser for Seattle too, getting that D, keeping his head out there and focusing and tracking down what is basically a 60-yard huck from Sweeney. That was a huge play.
So Alexander and Shu, mainstay handlers here for Polar Bears. We've seen the two combining all throughout this game.
Look at this side stack. Oh, interesting setup. That was kind of cool. They swung everyone out to the middle of the field and then brought Sweeney under.
And now this one going to the end zone, looking for Naruo, and the huge layout D. Khalif El Salam hits his chest in celebration. He flew to get to that one.
Yeah, a great D from Khalif, but your sideline needs to be there telling you that they could get a man on you. Naruo had no idea, but Khalif was behind him.
Now looking upfield to Hendrickson. Hendrickson trying to find the next option. Naruo putting on some pressure, but it's reeled in here. Duffel has the big yard gainer here with Wynn. Wynn faking the inside shot to Lozano and gets it back to Bailey. Duffel again. Mixtape on the doorstep of the biggest lead of the game. If they can continue the patience here. Lonnie Wynn looking for the next option. Moving it back a little bit, and that is the mistake that Mixtape did not need. Putting it straight into the turf, and Naruo a chance to go all the way back. El Salam tracking in the space again, and both players going up too early. And it looks like a foul called.
Wow. You saw Salam doing the same thing from the middle of the field, bolting all the way down there, thinking that that pass might come up, and goes up for it. And And he's just making plays right now. I don't know. We're going to look at this.
It looked like some contact. It's going to be ruled no foul. Both of them going up too early for that disc. So no play on it in Mixtape.
So credit that D to Khalif El-Salam. I mean, really getting down there and busting his horse.
Win putting it back into play here for the Seattle side. Finds El-Salam up line. El-Salam to Hendrickson.
Can PBR get another D here?
Now El-Salam again really doing a great job of controlling this point as Cam Bailey puts it under to Lozano, who reels it in under the pressure from Applegate.
Great concentration from Lozano.
And now going 1 and 2 here. Lozano has Win up line, who reels it in under pressure. Naruo, you can see he did try to stop his movement there, but was in the lane in front of Win.
Yeah, this kind of got tangled up there a little bit with Win. This really feels like a critical point here. Crowd's getting pretty excited. Both sidelines are really into it. This is big.
Could be a game-changing moment as Win taps it back in. A little touch on the throw there, but it gets over to Lozano, who swings it to Bailey. Bailey looking away from El-Salam in the end zone, goes 1 and 2 with Hendrickson. Hendrickson again. Now around to Lozano, who keeps that in her possession and into the end zone. Finds Duffel and Mixtape, the biggest lead of this game, up now 3 points, 11-8. They are currently in control.
Yeah, and they earned it. That's what you got to do to be a champion. You earn these tough points. You get 2 Ds back when your ace player chases down the big Huck and Khalif El-Salam. And then you make every throw that's gritty and tough with excellent defense from Polar Bears, and you make those connections count. Everyone just staying focused, staying in their lane, and making plays happen. Really great to see.
Got another look there. Born to rise moment. Khalif El-Salam flying to that layout D, and later managed to put some other defensive pressure on, giving Mixtape a second opportunity to work it all the way up the field, and this time no mistakes made as they get it over to the break side. Lozano to Duffel, and it's 11-8.
Are we seeing the Mixtape that we know come alive? I mean, we kind of are, because, you know, you think of Mixtape, and a lot of times you think of Khalif El-Salam getting some monster Ds on the deep shots, and he gets 2 in 1 point, and you know where we are. We're in Mixtape territory.
Now, some new faces on the D-line. If you have any thoughts, opinions on the game, you can join the conversation as well. Hashtag USAUNats. Check out USA Ultimate across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well. Try and get involved here as all of the action is on. Pre-quarters happening in the mixed division in front of you right now. Polar Bears down 3 points as Buchsbaum will put that all the way to the end zone. Has some defensive pressure. Misread on the first one, some contact, and then reeled in the second effort. Again, looks like almost an anticlimactic point there, everyone waiting for something else to happen, but reeling it in and doing such a good job, Joe Thompson.
Yeah. They set this play up. It was an isolation. They wanted to get it deep the whole time. Buchsbaum with the big release, and Thompson just makes a great play here. Reads it the whole time, gets his player on his back, and is able to just circle around back to the disc.
And it did look like there was some contact there from Fong, and looked maybe like if that hadn't been caught, a foul could have been called. But in this situation, Thompson tracking it down. His eyes never left the disc on that play, and such an important, incredible feat to be able to do that as well.
Well, you see it coming down, and sometimes you just hold up, and you look like you're about to leap, and then the player's now out of position, your defender, kind of on your back, and so you kind of use that as leverage almost as a point then to come back to the disc, and Thompson did that excellently. Still down by 2. Polar Bears are going to have to get 3 breaks here to win. As the clock is counting down, we'll be coming down to soft cap and not too long of a time here.
About 12 minutes to go until that soft cap mark, as Marliave is going to put up this pull, and it's going to fly out of bounds on the near sideline. Another chance for Mixtape to set something up here from the brick mark.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've seen a number of those pulls go out for Polar Bears.
So Nick Dare will bring it into play here for Seattle.
Big Brian Stout out there on the line again. There's age on his shirt, I believe.
Dare had Revere going, looking instead to the under and the reset. Now puts it, running out of options. Hauser in the space to track it down. Going up early over Marliave. The handshake, and that will stand as a goal. Hauser elevating for that one.
Good to see Hauser getting some action in there. We know he's got that. And he gets his opportunity to rise after this high count, forces a punt, forces a deep look. Marliave's tracking it well, but Hauser says, I got to go up and get this right now.
Really flying to get to that disc, and Nick Dare run out of options, had so many things shut down. Polar Bears really trying to take away those in cuts, trying to force them to make that huck, and instead Hauser kind of snuck away from Marliave, able to get into that space, and what an incredible play. And Mixtape 3 points away now from the quarterfinals.
Smart play by Hauser. You see your handler getting in trouble and count getting high. Bolt to the end zone. You know, try to create space, give him an option, give him or her an option, and get out there, and it works.
Polar Bears need to find a hold. They've got to try to close the gap with 3 points away. If we trade out the game at this point, we're going to be looking at Mixtape headed to the quarterfinals. So Polar Bears in desperate need of a break, but first a hold to get their D-line back on the field here.
Yeah, winner will advance to play. Take a look here.
I believe the winner will be playing Blackbird in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Which would be a very interesting game. Could be two San Francisco teams against each other if Polar Bears can find a way back in this one. Alexander to pick up here.
Or Seattle has to go through two San Francisco teams to get back to the finals.
Shu and Alexander again combining in the handler possess. That inside flick break shot again to Tolfa. Now into the middle and back to Alexander. Alexander, Naruo tracking it down, tries to lay out, trying to scoop that one out of the air with his right hand, and instead pushes it to the ground.
Fearless, though, from Polar Bears. Great setup, great execution. They're just playing a really great game of Ultimate here, and just a little too far for Naruo.
El Salam has Lozano open under and finds her. Lozano continued that cut despite not getting it on the first one, and now dishing it to El Salam. And now El Salam, that one floating high. Two defenders tracking it in the space and coming in big for the D. Tolfa came in to help out his teammate.
Yeah, he kind of pulled the El Salam there where he saw that disc going up and was like, okay, I got a chance here. I'm going to go run after it, and he got it.
A little bit unfortunate for Smith. A great deep cut there. El Salam putting it up, just too much float, too much hang time for a defender to catch up. That one, got to put it out into space in front of your receiver to run onto.
Also going up into the wind a little bit. The wind has picked up. Whoa!
And El Salam, a hand block, denies Alexander right on the end zone line. Mixtape looking to get a break here as El Salam picks up right at the end zone. Fakes the around backhand, has Garrity in the middle, almost picked off there by Sturt. Now back into the hands of El Salam. Looking for that inside flick shot, the shoulder fake, and then into the hands of Lozano. That point was all about Khalif El Salam, and they find another break to make it 13-9.
Well, there's a Khalif El Salam giveth and taketh away. He punted for field position. He comes in there and just pow, slaps down the hand block, and Salam is absolutely making the difference in this game.
We've talked before in games about when you do make a mistake, that throw going up too high, he gets a chance to go right back on the mark, immediately gets the disc back for his team. What a way to respond to that.
That's 3 Ds in the last 5 points for Khalif. This is why he's one of the best players in the team, one of the leaders of the Seattle Mixtape team, a defending champion. It's not by accident, you know. You make plays, and you see Leaf out there, and sometimes he's kind of casual. He's sort of surveying the field. You know, he doesn't have this like super alacrity about him necessarily, but he's dialed in. He knows where his spots are, and he knows where to get him and when to get him.
So back out on defense, 2 points away. Mixtape really in control convincingly now in this one. Looking like there's no way back here for Polar Bears if Mixtape can continue this level of intensity that they're bringing on defense.
And you just got to say that the big plays are going to Seattle Mixtape. The big stout reception, the big salam Ds, and that hand block there. Polar Bears are playing well, but the big breaks are going to Seattle.
So now Sweeney looks over to the far sideline to try to find a hold here for their team with a zone look now from Mixtape.
Great
Something
look.
different being put on here.
Yeah, great. I love it I mean, it does two things. It also eats clock.
To the middle. Now finding Thompson upfield. Marliav has Buchsbaum upfield. The inside shot, and it's picked off by Garrity, reading that one all the way through the disc. Now moving upfield, looking for the huck. Garrity going towards the end zone, and that one too far out of her reach. Unfortunately, Z Chen there, maybe a little bit excited, had a wide open Garrity going towards the end zone.
Yeah, Garrity really had a great look there. She had space on her woman.
So now back again with Sweeney. The zone look still on. Lozano trying to track that one down as Marliav collects it. Goes 1 and 2.
They have to jailbreak here, but now it's clamped down again. Ooh.
Putting it inside, and Akita this time picking that one off as he goes 1 and 2 with Chen.
Oh, we could really see that from up here. Dangerous throw, and it got eaten.
Akita and Bailey now. Bailey putting it into space in the end zone, and that is what Mixtape do so well. Evan Klein with the goal, and Mixtape have just run away with this one in the second half.
They are elevating their game, and they're getting the plays, playing smart. Great call to come down to that zone, and we saw it pay off twice with two uncharacteristic turnovers from that Polar Bears offense. And this game is all but over.
And it looks like Polar Bears with those turns, as you mentioned, Tony, uncharacteristic, and looks like they're almost nervous to make some of those throws on that point as well. The zone look throwing them off a little bit with the poaches as well, maybe, and just not making the same decisions that we saw them make when they were keeping this game tied up and within reach.
Yeah, and great patience from Seattle to hold that zone out towards the end of the game. They could have put it on earlier because they were down and they needed to get a break, or they could have used it to kind of keep the pressure on, but they saved it and threw it on at the end, and they're gonna win this game. Okay, so just the defending champions are back. They're gonna stay alive here. They're gonna move on to quarterfinals versus the another one of the San Francisco teams in Blackbird. Yet another San Francisco team that has also won the national championships in mixed division. The last time they won was they had a repeat in 2001, 2012, 2011, 2012. And I'm sure some of those veterans are still around. So that'll be another fun one coming up next round for Seattle Mixtape.
So right now, still 3 minutes to go until soft cap here. Mixtape very much in control of this one.
And
one break away.
Just to go back to some of the history of this division, the mixed division came out of the Pacific Northwest. Joey Gray, one of the founders of Potlatch, wanted to bring mixed as a competitive division to the UPA at the time, and really made that happen. And I think for the rest of the country, it was seen as sort of like a summer league type of play, like mixed play was the resort of leagues. It was league play. It was summer league, winter league, fall league. But it's not. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. It's an excellent division. The talent and the skill sets that you need and your sets that you need to run on O and D, it's all there. And we're seeing this division continue in excellence and in parity. I mean, it's one of the most exciting divisions because you just never know what team's going to make a run and where the strengths are for each one of these groups.
A few updates here. Mischief has won their pre-quarter against Shame and will face off against Snake Country in the quarters. And BFG, taking the victory over No Touching, will face off against Space Heater in their quarterfinal. For now, one to decide here.
That means we have two stroke.
That one sitting almost up. A huge bid there by Sturt to try to get there. A great play, open in the space, and the wind, which has picked up a little bit in the last few points here, just carrying it too far away there. And Polar Bears giving the disc back here. Bert Abbott, who took most of this game off, said her body has been feeling some injuries at the start. Now coming in here when needed. El Salam putting it to the far sideline, going 1 and 2. Has Hendrickson going deep and fakes it off. Mixtape trying to really take care. They can win it on this point.
Great to see Abbott out there. Of course, she caught the game winner in Nationals in the finals last year and one of the long-standing founders of this team.
Win resets that one to El Salam. El Salam faking the under. Needs another option. Finds it on the far sideline. Almost picked off by Alexander. Now Abbott upfield. Fakes the huck and gets El Salam under. Had a couple receivers going to that deep space, instead opting to go the inside flick shot to Hendrickson. Hendrickson and El Salam 1 and 2 as Hendrickson takes off deep. El Salam sees it, puts that one up. It's going to float, has two defenders, and tripped, unfortunately, on the play.
Yeah, it looks like Lin Huang got in there a little bit and feet tangled up. And a little bit of a discussion here, but tough to see how it would not be a call and stay with Mixtape.
Definitely maybe some just accidental contact there, but in that situation still causing the fall there before Hendrickson has an opportunity to go up for the disc, and we've seen the plays that he makes. He did, I think, have a play on that one.
Oh, he was going to get that disc for sure.
Both players there, you see, just looking up at the disc as right there, stepping just, I think, on the heel of Hendrickson.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's got to stay up here.
looks like observer ruling it will be with Hendrickson, meaning he will get to tap it in on the end zone line here for Mixtape on the doorstep of a berth to the quarterfinals. Hendrickson looking for the next option. Finds it in the end zone. Lonnie Wynn with the point and the goal. And Mixtape just ran away in this second half, 15-9 over Polar Bears. They are headed back to quarters.
Great composure from the Seattle Mixtape. Way to bring the energy in late in the game. Some big plays all the way around. Khalif El Salam showing up, and everyone else as well for this team. Garrity Goldberg with the big play. I think that was one of the turning points, was the double D by Goldberg. And Mixtape will advance.
We should talk about Lonnie Wynn there, catching that final point. So consistent in the handler roles for the entire course of the game for Mixtape as well.
Yep.
Unguardable on those reset cuts, so she'll definitely be a force for them going forward. They will face Blackbird in the quarterfinals, another San Francisco team, like you said earlier, and that one will be interesting as well. Mixtape headed to quarterfinals, 15-9 victory here over Polar Bears. And we're gonna get a look at some of the best moments of the game in a moment here. Bolton putting it into space. Stout bobbles off of his hand and catches on the second attempt. Incredible focus and determination here. The layout D from Hendrickson. He was all over the place here for Mixtape as well. El Salam floats to that disc.
Yeah.
Another player who was incredible. And again, just the focus that Mixtape able to bring out that one. Smith towing the line. And it has been an incredible morning here at the 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships. Mixtape headed back to the quarterfinals for Becky Thompson. Tony Leonardo, thank you so much for tuning in with us. We'll be back with more action later.